Thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Deanna Ting. I am the Senior Hospitality Editor at Skift, and today I am joined by Jen Ford, the Chief Financial Officer of TurnKey. So Jen is no stranger to the vacation rental industry. Before joining TurnKey as its CFO, she was actually the Senior Director of Investor Relations over at HomeAway when the company successfully completed its IPO. So Jen, thank you so much for being here. You have tremendous experience in the vacation rental industry. I'd like to kind of get a sense from you as to how you've seen the industry evolve since you joined.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. Yes, I am no stranger to vacation rentals, and travel is actually my passion. And how have things changed? Well, I think it's obviously an industry that is old. It's not something that is new, but I think what we're really seeing is the professionalization of vacation rentals. As you know, travel's a great category. People want to spend their money on experiences rather than things. Within that, vacation rentals is the fastest growing. And I think the reason that it's growing as fast as it is because it's a great way for groups and families to spend time together creating memories of a lifetime. So we're really enabling that. This trend of professionalization, I think you've really seen it expand in the last few years with some of the multi-destination PMs that are raising the bar in terms of providing consistent experience for both guests and homeowners across multiple destinations. As we do that and provide that, sort of ease of use, for example, with TurnKey, we have a digital lock on all of our properties. So when you arrive at the property, even if your flight is late, you can get in easily. It's access to things like 24/7 help. It becomes a more hotel-like experience, but with the unique accommodation aspect of vacation rentals. And as we do that, more and more people are going to try vacation rentals. It's easier to find vacation rentals with Airbnb and HomeAway coming on the scene, and all of these reasons are helping to drive the category.
Do you think the industry is ever sort of at risk of losing its soul, though, as it becomes more professionalized in some ways?
I don't think so. Look, you still have a unique accommodation, whether it's a lakefront cabin or a mansion or a ski in, ski out lodge, right? Those are still very unique experiences. And, personally, as a guest, depending on my use case, I pick a very different type of house when I stay in a vacation rental. But I want to know that when I show up with my friends and family in tow, I'm going to be able to get into the property. I also want to know that there's a starter kit of amenities that are needed in a home when you check in. And I want to know that there's someplace I can go if something does go wrong. And I think, property managers like TurnKey are providing that level of service. And we still have, the great backyard for the kids to play in, or the breakfast bar for us all to gather around and kind of celebrate the family or good times or whatever it is. And so I think that uniqueness is absolutely still there. And the fact that we can provide this level of service means more people are going to be able to experience that.
So you played a very influential role in HomeAway's IPO. Is that something that you're also planning to do at TurnKey, or does the company sort of have a different exit strategy in mind?
Yeah, I think we're not optimizing for a specific outcome, right? What we're trying to do is build a world-class company within the space, and what that means to us is that we're creating a brand, really the first true national brand within vacation rentals, so that if you book a place in Destin and have a great experience with a TurnKey, you can turn around and know that if you book a TurnKey in Steamboat, you're going to have an equally wonderful experience. And so we're much more focused on things like homeowner NPS and guest NPS on a day-to-day basis. We don't spend our days talking about, acquisitions or IPO. That said, as CFO, I do think that it's my responsibility to make sure that if that is something we want to do, we're prepared to do it. And having been through the IPO process before, as well as an exit, we sold HomeAway to Expedia. I think understanding what it takes to get a transaction, either of those types of transactions done, is incredibly important. And so I do think about what do we need to do in terms of systems and process and maturity of the business so that if we want to IPO, we're able to.
Right.
And so I certainly think about that. But again, day to day, we're really thinking about hospitality because that's what we are. We're a hospitality business that leverages technology to deliver great experiences for guests and owners, and that's what we talk about all day. You know, we really talk about that and not what outcome we're trying to get to.
Right. As there's so much more consolidation in the space as well, though, do you sort of feel like it's become a bit of a numbers game, or that scale, the importance of scale has become even that much greater, or?
Well, I do think scale is important, right? If you think about what we're trying to do in building a brand, you need a certain level of scale to do that. It's very hard to become a well-known brand if you aren't in enough destinations where someone, you know, can book a turnkey in another destination. So I think it's important. I also think, you know, given our investments in technology, which was a very strategic decision, you know, I think that you need certain scale to really achieve the levels that you want to. And so I think scale does matter. But again, I think we spend a lot of time thinking about building the best company that delivers the greatest experience time after time, and making sure that we're consistently delivering on those promises versus numbers or a specific, you know, at this point we must be at this goal. It's really about making sure we have really happy owners and guests, and that we continue to grow. And really that we feel like we're delivering something that's world class.
Is there a specific recipe that you have for sort of scaling or scaling up? Or?
There is, but I would consider those to be trade secrets that we don't share. I mean, we're, you know, I think this is just kind of in our DNA, you know, and especially I think it's part of the reason I was brought into the company 18 months ago is there is a certain approach that we take. We tend to be more organic in terms of our growth. And we are a bit methodical about it, and we have very clear playbook that we use when we enter new markets. So there is a certain methodology that we use, but it doesn't mean that we won't deviate from that. We may opportunistically look at acquisitions, and we may do things a little bit different from time to time, but by and large, I think we want to continue growing. We're very focused on that. But we have a pretty methodical way that we do it.
Yeah. Another thing that TurnKey is very much known for is for its very low commission model. In some markets, the commission for TurnKey is only like 15 to 18%, whereas your competitors might charge anywhere from 35 to 40%. And you also have really generous rate guarantees as well. I'm wondering, though, is this sort of model sustainable in the long run, or is it a big risk? You know, is it a financial risk to the company? Or, you know, or do you sort of see a point in the future where you might have to sort of change your commission model or change your rate guarantees?
Yeah, so our commission rate is lower than most of the industry, and we think it's an advantage. We think we offer a very compelling offer to owners who are signing up. And I would say that one of the key differentiators for us is our technology. So we did make a big bet up front that technology was going to be an important part of this business. And we use it at almost every step in the process to make sure that we are delivering the best experience for guests and owners. And it also allows us to be more efficient in our operations. And so, you know, I think that does pay off, and it does allow us to charge industry low commissions.
And another question I had for you is, you know, you emphasized the importance of really growing the TurnKey brand, and I was wondering, how about, like, can you talk about a little bit with regard to your marketing spend, or like how much you invest in terms of marketing the brand, whether it's to, you know, potential owners or to consumers, or?
Well, we do invest a significant amount of spend in both owner and guest marketing, because we need to reach both. We also know that when you get to a certain scale, you start to have the benefit of word of mouth, and so that goes a long way too. So I would say it's a very blended approach to how we market. You know, I think in the past we haven't done as much brand spend. That's an opportunity for us going forward, but right now we're really focused on, you know, bringing on the right type of homeowners, making sure we reach guests to deliver bookings, and there's a flywheel there, right? You have, you know, guest booking makes happy homeowners talk to their neighbors, talk to their friends, and talk about what a great experience they have. Guests who have a terrific stay go on to talk to people too, and so that is a big part of what we're doing. And then, you know, that scale, right? In a market, if you're sizable, more people hear about you. You have more presence. And then being in multiple destinations across the country, again, it's that ability to say, hey, I stayed in a turnkey in this place and now I'm traveling to this place. I'm going to book a turnkey again because I know what I'm going to get. I know it's a unique accommodation, but I know that I'll be able to get in and that I'll have the amenities and the service that I'm looking for.
And kind of backtracking to what you said earlier too, about tech investments. What are sort of like the specific technology investments that Turnkey has made, and you know, what kind of technologies are you keeping most attention on?
Yeah, well, it's actually something that evolves constantly. We're always thinking about how we use technology to deliver a great experience. It's really an ecosystem, I would say, and you know, different examples of that are, again, the digital lock, right? Every home needs a digital lock so that we can make sure that guests can get in securely, that housekeepers can get in securely. And so we focus on things like that. We have a great housekeeping scheduler, an app that, again, allows us to be more efficient and to, you know, make sure we're spending time on the true hospitality elements while ensuring that every guest who shows up has a great first experience. They get in, they say a clean house. And so we essentially have built a lot of proprietary technology that's being used in every step of the process.
What are your thoughts on the role of voice technology in vacation rentals, whether for the consumer, for the guest, or for just, you know, for bookings, or, you know, for management of the homes?
Yeah, I think it's still to be seen. You know, I don't know that people want a device in their vacation rental that's sort of listening to what's being said. You know, we do have technology in the homes that help deliver a better experience for guests, but also provide some peace of mind for owners. And so we do use technology in-house in addition to some of the things that we're doing within Turnkey headquarters. You know, voice, I'm just not sure. I can only speak for myself personally. I'm not sure I want a listening device in there answering my questions. I've got my phone with me. I can use it if I need to. And so I think it's still to be seen where that goes.
Right. Another question I had for you was, you know, what happens when Google gets more involved in this space, you know, especially as a distribution channel? You know, how does that impact the need for companies like Turnkey, or, you know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it doesn't really change whether or not we need Turnkey, in the sense that we are providing the service and the hospitality and the local teams in market to take care of guests when they're staying on property and take care of the homes for the owners. So I don't think it changes that need. I think we're excited about Google getting involved. You know, I think one of the things that's great about Google is they're very clear on how to work with them. They give you data, and we're a very data-driven company, so we're excited to really understand you know, the rules of the game, what we need to do to be successful, and then to be able to optimize for that. So I'm excited to see what happens there.
Right. Do you see at some point Turnkey is eventually evolving its products going forward in some way, or pivoting, or maybe adding on to the services that it already offers in some ways?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility, right? We've built a lot of exciting technology that I think could help a lot of other people out there. You know, I think right now we're very focused on our full service business. We're very much in growth mode, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to expand upon that. We're also US based at this time. There's also a very big world out there, and so there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, I think we're just getting started.
Yeah. What would those potential extensions be, or what sort of additional applications could you foresee for Turnkey?
Well, I think if you think about our full service business and the pieces of it, I think there are elements of it that can extend to other segments of the market. You know, we've got really great technology. Well, I think there's other users of that technology. And so I think there's other things that we have expertise in that other people might benefit from. And so I think those are opportunities down the road. Again, right now we're focused on really growing the full service business, but I think there's still a lot of potential out there for more.
Anything out there that you think this industry isn't paying enough attention to, but really should be paying more attention to?
Ooh, good question. You know, I mean, I think, again, the trend of professionalization is there. I think it's all things that people are paying attention to. I think there's professionalization. I think, you know, regulation is something that we spend a lot of time thinking about. You know, making sure that we're being very neighborly, but part of the community and part of the solution. We support fair regulations. We don't support unfair regulations, and so I think that's something that certainly impacts the industry and is interesting to see how that's going to unfold. But I think those are kind of some of the big themes that I see today.
Right. Any advice for someone who wants to sort of get involved in the vacation rental industry? Any advice you would share with them?
Well, we know the opportunity is there, right? It is an immense opportunity. Travel's the place to be. People want to spend their money on experiences rather than things, and within travel, vacation rentals are the fastest growing segment. So I think that we know already. And so I think if you have an idea, it's really about making sure you have a good business model, making sure you build the right team. At the end of the day, it really comes down to people. And so I think we know the opportunities there. Build the right business model and the right plan, and then staff it with the right team of people.
Great. Anything else that you wanted to talk about that we didn't ask you about here?
No, I don't think so. No, I can't say that there's anything else, but I really do appreciate you inviting me, and it's great to catch up.
Yeah, same. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Really appreciate it. Thank you.